can't wait. The playoffs tip off this weekend, and Victor Wembanyama, we get to see him in the postseason for the very first time in his career. And in just his third year, he's put up averages, 25 points, 11 rebounds, over 3 blocks a game. Those numbers we haven't seen since prime Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. Now, Shaq's postseason play, of course, it's legendary. 3 titles with the Lakers. He's got 1 with Miami. But his first shot at the playoffs, that was with the Orlando Magic team that got swept in round 1 by the 5-seed Indiana Pacers. And Victor, he will play his first postseason game this weekend against the Blazers. And we're going to see how he can carry the Spurs, how far they can go. But it was actually another Hall of Fame center that gave him one key piece of advice. He said, don't wait.
Our eyes have never seen anything at the level that we're seeing it with Victor Wembanyama.
Wemby shakes, takes, slams.
The mindset is the most important thing, in my opinion.
We're seeing his off-season work translate directly to his game. And it should almost always be yes, because that's who Victor Wembanyama has proven to be. I do want to go back to that line, though. He said that Hakeem told him. He said, you don't need to wait to win. You don't need to wait to win. Amon, do you think that that's true for Victor and the Spurs?
I think anything that you can get from Hakeem the Dream is money. You know what I mean? But I really do, though. It's something that, you know, I don't want to say it because as a student of the game, the history says nobody this young can do it, especially not a young team overall. And when I look at their roster, I'm forced to, you know, have to be real about it. They actually do have some things that I think cancel out. I think the playoff jitters that come, they still have a great defensive backcourt. I think that their backcourt is underrated in all the things that they do to pressure the other side. I think that every time you play them, you have to deal with a tremendous amount of pressure of them getting downhill because they have a Victor Wembanyama. They know that they can get to the basket, and just in case they draw 2, they can just throw it up there to the rim. It just puts your defense under so much pressure. I think that they are going to walk through a lot of the Western Conference, but, you know, it'll be nice to see when they have to match up with OKC.
I feel bad for Donovan Clingan. I do. This kid is a really good young big in the league. It's also his first taste of the playoffs. And he comes in with a resume. You know, he won a championship at UConn alongside Stephon Castle.
Yep.
He's got to deal with this, though, his first time in the NBA playoffs. And the one thing you absolutely know, no question about Victor Wembanyama, he loves the bright lights. He loves the stage. He's not going to be intimidated by him. He's played in a gold medal game in Paris against Team USA.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The NBA playoffs are finally here, and for the first time in his career, Victor Wembanyama is about to experience postseason basketball. In just his third year, he is averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, and over 3 blocks per game. Those are numbers we have not seen since prime Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. And Shaq's first playoff run? He got swept in the first round by the Indiana Pacers. But Wembanyama is not Shaq. And the Spurs are not that Magic team. The crew on NBA Today started breaking down what we can expect from Wemby in his first postseason, and Shumpert made a bold statement. He said the Spurs could sweep the Portland Trail Blazers. Let me show you exactly what he said. Roll the clip. Did you catch that? Let me break this down because Shumpert is not just saying this to be controversial. He has real reasons. First, he pointed out that Hakeem Olajuwon gave Wemby a piece of advice. He said, don't wait to win. That is huge. Hakeem is one of the greatest big men of all time. He knows what it takes to win a championship. And he is telling a 22-year-old that he does not need to wait his turn. He can win now. Shumpert then said, anything you can get from Hakeem is money. And he is right. But then he acknowledged the history. He said, as a student of the game, history says nobody this young can do it, especially not a young team overall. And that is true. It has been 50 years since the team's leading SC. Aura led them to a championship in their first postseason. But here is where Shumpert flipped the script. He said the Spurs actually have things that cancel out the playoff jitters. Their defensive backcourt is underrated. They put pressure on the other side. And most importantly, they have Victor Wembanyama. Shumpert said, every time you play them, you have to deal with a tremendous amount of pressure because they have a Victor Wembanyama. They know that they can get to the basket, and just in case they draw 2, they can just throw it up there to the rim. It just puts your defense under so much pressure. That is the key. Wemby is not just a shot blocker. He is a safety net. He allows his teammates to take risks because they know if they get beat, he is there to clean it up. And on offense, he is a cheat code. Tim McMahon said, "No big is suited to guard Wemby. If he hits a 3 or 2 early, forget about it." You think a big has ever had to close out to a guy 28 feet from the hoop who can pump fake and put it on the floor like that? It's not a fair fight. And then the crew dropped another important detail. Wembanyama has been on a minutes restriction all season. He averaged under 30 minutes per game. The Spurs were protecting him for the long term. But now, in the playoffs, they are going to let him loose. Full throttle Victor. That is a terrifying thought for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, let's talk about the Blazers. The crew felt bad for Donovan Clingan. He is a really good young big. He won a championship at UConn. He has a great resume. But this is his first taste of the NBA playoffs, and he has to deal with Victor Wembanyama. And as Tim McMahon said, Wemby loves the bright lights. He loves the stage. He played in a gold medal game in Paris against Team USA and put on a show. He is not going to be intimidated. Shumpert said, "I think they are going to walk through a lot of the Western Conference." That is a huge statement. He is not just saying the Spurs will beat the Blazers. He is saying they could make a deep run. And the only team that gives him pause? Oklahoma City. He said, "It'll be nice to see when they have to match up with OKC." So, what is the prediction? The crew did not explicitly say sweep, but the tone was clear. The Spurs have the best player in the series. They have a Hall of Fame coach in Greg Popovich. They have veterans like De'Aaron Fox who have playoff experience. And they have Wemby, who is unlike anything the Blazers have ever seen. I am not saying the Spurs are going to win the championship, but I am saying that counting them out is a mistake. And as Shumpert said, no one wants to face Victor Wembanyama in a 7-game series. Because even if you think you have a plan, he will find a way to break it. I want to know what you think. Will the Spurs sweep the Blazers? And can Wemby carry them past the Thunder? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe if you want to stay locked in. We are building something real here. See you next time. Peace.